Vermont, Bernie Sanders. So, Senator Sanders, great to have you back on the show. I know that from what I can tell, and maybe you give me the correct wording, I'm hearing the Senate is really in a holding pattern. But if I may, I'd like to just get your reaction to what we're hearing about this House proposal that will likely be put to a vote tonight, although we're hearing that Boehner doesn't have the votes, at least not yet. Your reaction to that?
Brooke, let's take a deep breath and look where we are. In 2 days, for the first time in the history of the United States, this country may not pay its bills that precipitate a national and international financial crisis. And in the U.S. House of Representatives, they cannot, John Boehner, the Republican Speaker, cannot even get his act together to come up with any kind of language. And the problem there is there are 232 Republicans. He does not want to go to 200 Democrats. They're not involved. He needs to get 217 out of 232 in agreement. And given the wild people they have there, that is virtually impossible.
As we forgive me for jumping in, and as we are, taking our collective deep breath, I just wanted to let our viewers know as we're talking, we're now looking at pictures. This is House Democratic leadership meeting with President Obama. They are in the White House right now, so we got a quick little, as we call it in the news biz, a little pool spray. So we just wanted to show our viewers that. I want to pick up what we were talking about, but you're a senator, so let's just talk about what's really pertinent, to you specifically, that this possible deal, right, being brokered, the Harry Reid, Mitch McConnell deal. Right. Where does that stand?
Well, we woke up this morning and everyone was feeling pretty good. Reid was positive, Mitch McConnell was positive, and then somewhere in mid-morning or so, McConnell said, wait a second, as I understand it, he has to back off from the agreement he had reached with Reid, which frankly, from my perspective, was not a great deal. But at least it was better than the alternative, and that is not reopening the government or not paying our bills. So we had momentum. And then Mitch McConnell, as I understand it, says, well, you know what, I can't go forward until we see what's going on in the House. But nothing is going on in the House because they can't get their act together. And what pains me very much, it really does. This country, Brooke, as you well know, has enormous problems. We have a disappearing middle class. Poverty is at an all-time high. The gap between the very rich and everybody else is growing wider. We can't even begin to address those problems, because we're waiting for the House to say, oh, yeah, I guess it's okay to pay our bills or reopen the government.
I hear your frustration. You are not the first senator to come on this show and express frustration regarding your colleagues in the House. Let me read a quote, because this perhaps may explain maybe some of the lack of action. This is a quote I read this morning. This is from New York Times. Asked Congressman Tim Huelskamp, Republican from Kansas, about your deal, the Senate deal. What he said: we've got a name for it in the House. It's called the Senate Surrender Caucus. Anyone who would vote for that in the House as a Republican would virtually guarantee a primary challenger. Senator Sanders, your reaction?
I think it speaks for itself. There's nothing more that I have to comment on. We are seeing a huge amount of suffering in this country today. There's got 1 million federal workers who are not getting paid. Tens of millions of Americans, veterans in the state of Vermont, are worried that they're not going to get their disability benefits. People are worried about whether or not they're going to get Social Security. Head Start is being impacted. And this guy says that in an attempt to reach a bipartisan agreement between a conservative Republican, Mitch McConnell, and the Majority Leader Harry Reid is an act of surrender. I mean, that just should tell every single American, regardless of their political views, what is going on with the extremists in the House of Representatives.
Just so I'm clear, am I hearing you, Senator Sanders? Are you saying that you believe we could be going over the deadline, that we are going over the deadline?
Well, no.
Okay.
I mean, first of all, I passionately hope and pray that does not happen. And by the way, you have heard and I have heard Speaker Boehner saying default. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but the quote is, he says, we're not going to default. Default would be unacceptable. What I hope and expect happens is that in the 12th hour, Boehner looks his right-wing extremist in the eye and says, look, guys, I've gone as far as I can with you. I cannot allow a default to take place. I cannot allow this entire world's economy to go into recession. We're going to work with the Democrats. We're going to pass what the Senate has brought us, and that's the way out.
Okay. Senator Bernie Sanders, Thank you very much. Taking our deep breath reality check here for all of us. We appreciate you keeping an eye on Washington. But coming up next, we want to take it to Los Angeles.